What's going on?
We just arrived to Tapesh house.
Oh.
So what a nice area. Really like a
guys.
jungle feeling. Hey Tapesh.
Hey.
Ciao.
Welcome. Nice to see you, brother. Hey, nice to see
Hey,
you.
nice to see you
This
too.
is my little Ganesh, the golden one.
Wow, really
Osho
beautiful.
picture.
Yes.
It's the first picture I saw of Osho in '81.
Wow, it's a very beautiful picture.
This is my instrument.
Mm.
I play the bodies on this instrument. Good friend. Good friend.
Yeah, nice.
And this is my Maharaja, if you like to see.
Wow. Where is that from?
Rajasthan.
Oh,
It's a Maharaja from Rajasthan. I like it.
super
So
nice.
welcome.
So guys, how do you know each other?
I think I meet you first time last year, was it? Or when I did your training here in Phangan.
But I think we met already a long time in Pune, but he was a very young boy.
Aha.
And as I remember. Yeah.
We were there in the same time anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised if we met, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey.
Hello.
Here we are.
Here we are with Tapesh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I would like to begin by saying thank you for everything you've been teaching me, and especially when I did your training, Alchemy of Touch. I think it brings, like you explain it, as the essence of holding space and where to work from consciously. And I think the terminology that you like to use is to work from emptiness, right? And this, I've been taking so many different massage trainings, and this nobody have taught me before, you know. And it brings a whole nother quality to giving a session. So first of all, a big thank you, brother. Thanks.
Nice. It was really nice to have you there.
Yeah.
Because it was a pleasure to have a Vikingo in the training, you know. It looked really beautiful aesthetically, a nice presence.
Wow,
I remember very nice,
Yeah.
And now I'm getting
Yeah.
like, what are you guys talking about?
Well, we did, he came to do the training here in Phangan last season of Alchemy of Touch.
Uh-huh.
And actually by surprise, because normally is Anouk that takes care about the people that are coming in. And me, I look sometimes, but not that much, because I like surprise, and it makes me thrilling. Who is gonna be there for the training? Because I don't have prejudice who's coming, who's not coming. But a little bit of holding space, and that's Anouk, she does really good. But me, I like it to leave out of surprise, because then I can design the training, depend which person comes in the training. And of course, there is a holding space. There is a timing line. There is the book, the technique, but still I leave some space for surprise.
And what is this training?
Alchemy of Touch is transformational bodywork. Transformational because to touch a person, first you need to transform yourself.
Yeah.
By transforming yourself, then the touch quality, because the touch, what it is like a transmitter of a certain life experience, meditation, or technique, practical technique, medical technique. But you need to transform yourself. If your nervous system is loaded, when you touch a person, you transmit that loaded energy to the person. Because you work on vertical, the person is like horizontal, so your energy goes to the person. Some people ask some years ago when Osho was alive, Osho, I feel like when I touch the person, I feel like that I get energy from them, you know, like tension or negativity. And Osho was very clear. He said, if you are present nobody can give you energy because you are the master. You are the giver. It's like the waterfall down.
Yeah.
Touch the person. The touch you get the person gets transformed. Then the energy comes back to you refined.
Yeah.
So there is a transmission there. But to this you need to transform a certain type of energy that you are carrying. So it needs first a self-transformation, then you learn the technique. Because the technique you can learn. The books and the videos and the classes you can learn. But self-transformation is something that somebody can provide you, but you need to do yourself. Nobody can do for you.
So this is how you guys met. You took the workshop. But I also heard something about Pune. Pune, how do you say it?
I guess the pronunciation when you look at the spelling is like Pune, but most people I know say Pune.
Pune, yeah.
Yeah.
Pune,
Yeah.
in Hindi.
Uh,
Pune is a blessed city. Now,
And it was fun also, like the more we were talking last year, the more we realized that we know the same people, you know?
Yes,
From the
yes, yes,
ashram
yes.
and from Goa, from India. It's like, oh, you know him, and all the Italian gang and everybody like this. You know?
Yeah. It was a beautiful moment, that one. When Osho left his body, there was still some trace of the flavor. And now there is some flavor there, but it's very, very, very personal.
yeah.
But the big flame was still there in the 90s, yeah. End of
I was
90s.
there, we're talking about the Osho ashram in Pune. And I was there, I think it was 2011 or 12.
Yeah,
And I was a little bit disappointed, I would say. Because I had so much also expectations, you know, because I heard so much about Osho. And I felt a little bit that that energy was gone. That it was a little bit stagnated.
the energy is not gone. Osho is still there, but the setup is different. Yeah. When Osho was in his body, in the physical body, it was more like spontaneous happening.
Yeah.
He was teaching every night, morning, evening, give discourse. Pune was one of the biggest laboratory of human consciousness. It's the biggest. I can 100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now the energy is spread all over the planet.
Yeah.
I'm carrying a little bit of this experience, and many other therapists or meditator or teacher, they are all spreading this fire, this light. It's not lost.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
That's a very good way to
Yes,
see it.
yeah,
I
it's not
I
lost.
really recognize that.
it's regained. It's regained. Yeah. I heard Osho say, and when the clouds is heavy, start to rain by itself.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Can you say that again?
When the clouds, they are full,
Yeah.
they start to rain by itself.
Yeah.
So when comes your moment that you need the time to share and to teach, it comes by itself. Not made it.
No.
When did you go there the first time?
Well, I reached there exactly in the end of 86. Actually, it was the first 6 days of 87. Osho arrived in Pune at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was in Bombay, and they told me, "Hey, your guru is gone." I said, "Where?" "In Pune." So I took a taxi, and 9 o'clock I reached Pune. So 3 hours after Osho, in 87, 6th of January 87, yeah. But I was already at Oregon.
You were?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was in Oregon.
Wow.
When I was very young, 22, I think. Yeah. Or
So
20.
just to clarify, that's Osho was also in America,
Yeah,
right?
in America, yes.
Yeah, so
In
he
the-
had
at
like
ranch,
a
yeah.
commune in Oregon, right?
In
It was
Oregon,
a big,
yes.
big ranch.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
amazing.
I would like us to back up a little bit and
Yeah.
ask you the question, like, who are you from the start, or how is your life journey? How did you end up in the Osho ashram? Where are you from the start? for
That's a
example?
beautiful question.
Mhm.
You know, there is a few stages of awakening.
Yeah.
The first awakening is that when you come you're born, example, in Italy, like me,
Mhm.
South Italy, Christian family, not so active, but you know, and you are young and you start to say to yourself, what I want from my life, you know? And I remember very clear that moment.
Mm.
It was the end of the 80s, 81, 80, 81, and I was in Florence. I was sitting on there is like a big church where all the tourists are passing by, they go to visit. I was sitting there, you know, like a tourist. I was living there at the time. And I asked myself as a young boy, what I want from my life? Really pure question. And then the Hare Krishna passing by, you know. Oh, I said, maybe I should go there and visit them, you know. Because I felt like I need to go up in the hill, I needed to go somewhere, but I didn't know where, what. At the time I was reading books like Zarathustra, Herman Hesse, you know, it's like young age.
Good book.
Beautiful book, good
Yeah.
preparation. So I want to go to visit Hare Krishna, but the next day it did not happen. I lost the bus or something. Then I went in Torino at the park, and I saw from far away one orange something, one boy dressed all orange. And I point towards him, and I say, excuse me, I'm searching something, I don't know what. Because I did politics and I was not interested. The discotheque, I did everything. Study, I didn't want to enter in the system. I did not know what I was looking for. And then I went close to him, he said to me, you know what? He had like a mala, you know, the one that I have there, with a picture of Osho. I said, what is this, marks or what? You know, he said, you know what? Come tomorrow. I give you a book. So the next day I went there, and they gave him a book, and was called Dynamic Meditation, and that the picture there that you see is the first picture of Osho that I saw.
Mm.
And I read in the park 3 pages. And I was like, whoa, I found you. Like this, I found you. So I go home. I said, Mom, all what is in white, painted in red. All what is not red, throw it away. She said, okay, you are going mad. That's what starts.
And for the people who don't know, I mean, Osho was a little particular with colors, right? That you had certain clothes and in white at certain time and certain, or what was the color about?
For me, orange color, it was the new sunrise, the new understanding of spirituality,
Yeah.
a new revolution in this humanity. He was preparing for the new man. And now you can start to see the seeds of the new man. It all surrounds us. As soon as it's going to start blossom and will be just normal. Peter, you know what I'm dreaming? Then to be enlightened, to be realized, is going to be like a drink of water, a glass of water, so normal. Our kid will be enlightened, just like this. That's where we are going for. And we've been working very hard to create this energy field. And we pay the price for it also. It's not easy when you get out from the society.
I'm curious, do you know who this boy was that you met? Like this first sannyasin?
I only remember his name, Govinda, in Italian, and he worked at the post office.
It will be interesting to
Beautiful
meet him
boy.
today, like to tell you, like
To thank him.
tell him the life story, you know, that he put you on.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Maybe he's watching, who knows?
Big shout out to Govinda.
Govinda, yes. Yeah, and then somebody invited, I started to do Kundalini, dynamic, all meditation.
And which country is this now?
It was in Italy still.
Ah, okay.
And
They have a big center there, right? There's
Yeah, Miasto. Yeah, I went to Miasto, and I mean, I had so many episodes that really life spoke to me. I remember when I went to Miasto, this was still not, I didn't even take sannyas yet, because it was coming from America. When I started to know Osho, he was moving from India to America, just between.
Mm.
He was in the castle in New York, outside of New York. Then he reached. So I was asking for the name and everything, so I was on the way to come. So I went to Miasto, and I was sleeping in the tent, and I don't know, in the morning before the sunrise, I wake up and I look at the sun, and it was such overwhelm for me that I knew that I need to stay there. It was a sign. It gave me like, there you are, you need to stay here. So I started to do all the meditations, and then a friend of mine came and said, hey, you want to come for 3 days workshop? I said, yeah, okay. I didn't know anything about it. It was outside of Venice, in the center. And I go there, I pay, I remember, 150,000 lira at the time, I don't know how much is now. And they put me 3 days in silence, Vipassana meditation. Yeah, it was interesting though. And then I knew that this is the sign for me that that's my way, meditation. And there was one guy that maybe is notorious at the time, Shastro, a musician player. He also came for the first time, I remember, or maybe he did something more with Osho, but it was kind of at the same time. And then after that I want to go to see Osho.
And what happened in those 3 days that got you hooked on meditation?
The silence. You fall in love with the silence. And what I teach now is that emptiness is not empty, it's full. My God, when you get acquainted. But yeah, it's really beautiful. You fall in love. Yeah. It is so full. We need to recognize that we are made out of a void. But we do everything to avoid the void, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, once for all, you recognize the void, become the friend of the void, because you are made out of a void, and enjoy then the display of life.
But the void is scary, you know.
Oh, the void is so beautiful. You fall, and you're never gonna crash. Only the ego crash.
I've seen that too, that it's very beautiful when I can relax into it, but it's also very scary in the beginning when you see the void, or when you feel the void, because it's there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And your mind wants to hold on to something.
Yeah.
And it can't. And then it's like, what you're gonna do now? Because the mind and the body is, for me, it's so used to do things all the time. So.
Yeah, but you needed to, just like you needed once for all, to take the torch towards the right direction. If you don't do it now, you're gonna do it the last breath of your life.
Yeah.
If you do now,
even if you don't want it.
Even if you don't want it. So if you do now, you have it. Then you can ride. Otherwise, the void rides you. You see, meditation, for me, and not because Osho said, because Papaji said, or whatever, because whatever I heard, whatever I read, when it comes from you, inside of you, recognition, you own it and have a sense. Otherwise, you just repeat words. So for me, meditation, it comes from the word, from the root, the middle, mediator. Yeah? So meditation is just like between the emptiness, the silence, and the manifested world. And you are just there in the middle. Because we come in the society that they teach us all the time how to use the senses outside. It is your car, it is your papa, it is your mama, it is that. So the senses, they know how to go out. In the West. But nobody teach you that also that we have inner senses.
Yeah.
Nobody teach us. So the senses that you learn how to use it, they need more and more and more, because they're never going to find satisfaction. Never. See? Instead, if you know how to learn how to use your inner senses, the quietness, the silence, watching the feeling that they're coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, you become more and more sensible, more and more sensible, more and more sensible. Then, when you use the senses, and you look at the life, the display of this manifested world, it becomes really tantric. You see that the life starts to flirt with everything. With you, with the plants, with the cat. This form is a tantra.
I recognize this from, I did a 4-day meditation in one of the domes here some years ago, and I totally recognize what you're talking about now, because that was how I felt after this meditation. It was so silent in my head, and I felt so deep connection with everything, around me, and I had this joy inside of me for no reason. It was just there.
I feel this also after I did the 10-day Vipassana in Dharamsala. Some friends were asking me...
Goenka, no?
Yeah, Goenka style. But some friends were asking me, hey Victor, you want to come for dinner tonight? I said, I just want to be in my room. I just want to be with myself. Like, I'm so happy to just be alone, And what a blessing that is. When I came out of the ashram, I was dancing on the street in the mountains. Like, just laughing, To be alive was so beautiful. One thing, I listened to Osho the other day, and he describes meditation as medicine, no?
Yes.
That once you reach that point of emptiness, of really being completely present, you can drop the meditation also. You're just there. You don't need to use the technique when you already have achieved what the technique is meant to do.
Yeah, but that's high level.
No, but when you meditate, when you reach that point of silence within, just enjoy the silence. You don't need to sit and do different techniques.
Well, still you need to do the technique. See, there is a two aspect. Also, medicine comes from the same root of middle. Medicine comes from the same root of middle. Balance. A balance between the manifested and the manifested world. And you are just there in the middle. Your mind is just there in the middle. And the moment you start to be there, always there in the middle, you disappear as presence. You disappear completely. But you need to be there. You need to pierce this presence that called mind. Is it? Like when a kid is baby born, like it's just like a little baby, like this. He's completely like into the presence, but he's not aware about the presence, you see? When you grow up, you start to, through meditation, you start to become aware of there is something that is there. You cannot avoid it. Or in form of the thoughts, or just a simple, if you don't have thoughts, just a simple, there you are, I am. I know that I exist. Is it? You go to run and it's there. You go for shower and it's there. It's there 24 hours a day. Still, you need to peer this presence. You need to be there.
But that's a doing, right?
No, knowing.
Yeah.
Knowing is not doing.
But a meditation, in some traditions anyway.
But it's beautiful.
No, but for sure. But in some traditions, in order for something to be classified as a meditation, there needs to be a certain doing. For example, simply watching the breath is a doing also. You're watching the breath.
Who was this?
So this is within yoga, for example. Yeah.
I don't agree. Or maybe I agree to some.
But
what do you say?
I think you can be absorbed into a meditative state. Then you're not doing anymore. And then you're simply, like you say, empty, or you disappear. or you're completely present. It can be maybe explained in different
Oh yeah,
ways,
I can
right?
explain you so in details because
But then you don't have to do anymore. So then what Osho said, if I understand him correctly, then you can drop the actual technique. Let's say you're doing a Kundalini meditation,
Sure.
you're doing Nada Brahma, but if you disappear, then there's no reason to keep on the actual technique itself. You understand what I mean?
of course, but okay, let's say Maharaja, they said that the meditation is the technique. Then there is a Krishnamurti. They say you don't need meditation, you don't need a master. Still, between these two, there is a passage. Of course, you don't need no master, you don't need a thing, but you need to pass through that. You need to have a master, that somebody guides you, and you need to have a technique. Find your technique. Osho technique, Shiva technique, there is so many 108 techniques, whatever, find yours. But it's a container. The content is you. You see, we are made out of animal and this mystery that we call the soul. And us is just between, is a bridge. That's why we feel a little bit schizo sometimes. And then sometimes people like to drink some wine to knock them out, to feel like, to go back and this rest that animals have. Look at this cat. It's completely relaxed. We are vertical. Only animal that is vertical. We are an antenna between this display that the planet Earth and this universal mystery. We are in the middle. So when we have a psoas, they call it the muscle of the soul, is it? Why? Why they call it this? I did not read in any book.
Connected to the hara, maybe?
And it's not that I'm I'm right. I'm just saying that I like to ask myself questions and give me an answer, not a ready-made answer. Because they tell me, psoas is they call it the muscle of the soul. So I say, okay, why? And then they give an explanation. So what came to me is just because the psoas, we can stay vertical. Earth and universe and sky, and we are in the middle. And the heart is just this meeting point where we receive energy from the star and energy from the earth. Shi, Va, Sha, Ti. And the heart is the meeting point. When these two elements meet in the heart, they start to make love. This is the real love with your own self. So for me, the psoas is the muscle of the soul because it keeps us vertical between the earth and the universe.
For people, or for me, don't know so much about muscles, and what is the psoas?
The hip flexor. So there's a muscle that creates a flexion of the hip joint to be anatomical. So let's say I keep the leg extended here, and the muscle that lifts the leg upwards like that. That's the hip flexor. Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to get back to this about meditation because I really recognize that. I was thinking about when you say you need a practice, and I really recognize this because I'm a little bit lazy and sloppy sometimes. And when I did this 4 days in the dark room, it was amazing to feel or see what happened. It was like in the last day when I was going to do something, when I texted my friend to come and pick me up, I could feel that my consciousness were expanded like this, and I had to pull it in to work on my phone. And when I sent the message, I relaxed and out again, like that. And this state, it lasted for maybe a couple of days after this meditation, but then it faded, and I didn't have any practice to keep it in. So I can still sense the quality of it, and if I do a meditation, I can come a little bit back there, maybe not fully, it takes time. But since I didn't have any practice, I kind of lost it.
Mm.
So I guess for me that's something that I can see that a practice is really valuable.
You need to practice first, and then, in the end, they tell you also to drop the technique.
Yeah.
Because meditation is not a technique, meditation is a state of being. Of course, you need to practice a little bit. If you are used to have like always like attention towards the mind, that get identified with the mind, it need a disconnection there a little bit. You understand? You need to break that pattern. And then, of course, meditation is the middle. That's what I do in Alchemy of Touch. Always work in the middle. Always work between the pleasure and the pain.
And the Alchemy of Touch is it like a system for really, really good massage, or?
It's a transformational body worker.
Yeah.
It's not a massage, honestly.
No.
It is much more.
Yeah.
Because you see, like I learned so many different techniques from different schools.
So the meditation is one like pillar of to be in this state, to be able to give, or?
Yeah, like yesterday I got a client that she comes with a problem with the shoulder. I work very technical, very like scientific and everything to unfroze the shoulder, but always leave a blueprint of silence. So when the person goes out, the issue maybe leaves, is not there anymore, and then the cells keeps on working. If you work as a physical only, the pattern comes back again. Because who's creating that pattern is the mind. So the mind need to persuade to lose a grip over the body. So you need to work with these two elements, the body and the mind. And you need to be present. You see, they talk about conscious touch. Conscious touch is not really soft touch only, a subtle touch. You can be very conscious and can go very deep. But you need to be empty. It's hard. And I know I can feel everything. You know, when I started to teach, it was this 11 years ago, I said to myself, when they asked me, because I did not have a plan to teach. The teaching happened by itself. They knock at the door for yoga teacher in Goa. And I have the picture there. And they ask, what you are doing? We want to learn from you. They were my client. I said, I don't know. Let's see what I can teach you. So we did the 10 days. My friend was taking notes, what I was telling, because I record everything in my heart. So the teaching comes from there, not here. It's here. So when it's here, the teaching, you are mastering something. A master is not the guy with a long beard that stays on the cloud. A master is somebody that is mastering something. Can be teaching yoga, cooking pizza. So look, you don't have to think. You know. This is mastering. And that's when the mastering is there, it can be transmitted. You can teach how much you want. Technique, if you have good memory, you look like you're the greatest guy. Transmission. Osho spoke 500 books, so many years, 30 years. But during the gap of silence, he was transmitting something.
This is something
Beautiful.
It took me some years to understand this.
Yeah,
but it was really interesting. I was actually at Ängsbacka, and it was this woman who was there talking. And I was sitting with her, and I was thinking, she talks, rubbish. I was not interested at all in what she talked about, or I already thought I knew that stuff. And then this was, I think this was at the time when the No Mind Festival were 2 weeks. So during that period, I found myself coming there and sitting there again. But I didn't like this the last time, and still now I'm sitting here. And the third time I was sitting there, and I was like, how did I end up here again? Then I started to realize it's not about what she's talking, what she's saying. It is her transmission that I'm getting
a
affected.
transmission. It's beyond the word.
Shantimai?
No, this was I forgot her name.
Don't say little grandmother.
No, it was not.
Yeah, anyway.
But
I know this one.
You know, so.
Yeah.
but how do we explain transmission?
Okay,
for the viewer?
transmission, I can tell you. It was 88, 87, 88, I think 87 mostly, end of 87 in Pune. And we were in Lao Tzu still. Lao Tzu is like, now is the Samadhi there, you know, small little, under 50 people could enter. Because they were preparing the big Buddha all outside still.
So you were 150 people?
Yeah, around 150, 200 maximum.
And Lao Tzu is a building?
It was the house of Osho, that it was like a beautiful big hall, not so big, where he was giving the discourse. It was in the evening.
Mm.
So I gave the discourse, beautiful, and then he goes out, this is Namaste. I was kind of close because the room was not that big, you know. So when I came out, I said to myself, to my friend, we were at the restaurant near the session room. I said, he put me pregnant. And they start to laugh at me. Yeah, I said, he put me pregnant. Something I got there, I don't know what it is.
You mean he impregnated you?
I don't know. That's the word that came in, and I
Yeah.
felt that the night, that the day, that evening, I felt like
Something changed.
something was happening there.
Mm.
And they were laughing, you know. But yeah, then after so many years I started to teach. Because I never planned to become a teacher. People come to learn to become a therapist, this and that. For me, I want to know myself. All what I want is, I want to know myself.
Mm.
I was not intended to have a career. But the career came to me. And then after the first training we did for people, next month people start to speak in Goa. They became 6 people. Then another one, 9 people. And that's when Alchemy of Touch got developed. Then 2 years after, Anuka came, we became a lover and we became partner and in work, and she also helped to Alchemy of Touch to come out there. And now she started to teach. She helps me with her understanding and her experience. She's a Devi. She's amazing. So, but you know, I'm at service. I feel I am at the service.
Mm.
Life that wants to use me, uses me. I'm not on anything. There is a teaching without the teacher.
Mm.
It means that I'm not identified with the teacher. I don't play the game. I don't want any reflection about the teacher. I'm just Tapesh. But there, in the training, there is a teaching. There is a sharing. And it's beautiful, because never I plan. Of course, there is the booklet, like I said, but the sharing is a very spontaneous. I love spontaneity.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, it's aliveness. Osho teaches us spontaneity. Can I tell you one episode?
Yes, I'm gonna drink something.
So, it was 83. I told you, no? One time this story. This is for me spontaneity. It was 83. There was one guy, one sannyasin guy at the ranch in Oregon, in his community, that he came to me and my friend, he said, hey listen, I was play guitar outside in the street, and Osho stopped, he opened the window and he started to give me energy darshan. And he said, maybe if you guys come, maybe he stop again. I said, okay, we were 5 people. Chitanando, the wife, Indian wife, Darshano, one Sicilian musician, and me. I was very young, I was 22, 23 years old. And I didn't have even an instrument, I had 2 pieces of wood play like this. And we were singing Italian song from South Italy. And Osho stopped. He opened the window and he started like energy
I love
dash.
that when he's doing
Wow,
that. It's so
he
beautiful.
does like boom, boom. And I was like, and he started to go on me and eyes like this, boom, boom. And I was so young and I could not absorb so much energy directly from the master. It was too much. And I said to myself in my thoughts, maybe I close my eyes and he's gonna go. So I close my eyes, we sing a song. Then I open my eyes and he still was there and he smiled. You know, yes, this mischievous smile,
Yeah.
childlike, not childish, childlike. And then you go. From that day, it's become like a routine. People became like one line of kilometer of red clothes with all the best musician. This is for me spontaneity.
Yeah.
It's not organized. It just happened. So for me, spontaneity is alive. At a spring. No manipulation there. So for finish, Alchemy of Touch is there. I create a space for you to rivering. You understand the rivering, the river? So the benches you say in English, and there is the river. So I'm the benches, but I'm allow the river to take the position that it wants. You understand?
Oh, you mean the
bank of
banks,
the river.
The bank. I'm sorry. Yeah, the bank of the river. I create a space. I hold the space, but I don't keep the space straight. I responding how people needs, what they need for to learn the best and to transform themselves and to grow.
It's to be receptive, no?
Be receptive. It's a very, you think that it's easy? No, it's very risky because you need to be with spontaneity all the time. Because it's easy. You make a program, ta-ta-ta, they follow ta-ta-ta, and then done.
Yeah. But that's one thing that I experience also with other types of massage, that the therapist is not learning how to be receptive, you know? Like you talked about the art of touch. When people touch you, they sometimes go like this, or they go like, it's like violence almost, you know? They're not like consciously touching you. They're not present in their touch to really feel what's going on. And that's something I think is so important.
Well, because the touch has to start from here.
Yeah.
The touch starts from here. I can feel you here. I feel him here. He's not here. So if I touch like this, matter. But if I touch with presence, light. Not light, light.
Yeah.
You see? Empty. Then I touch the soul. Otherwise, amen. Ah.
The worst, no? It's
You
terrible.
feel like a meat.
Yeah, like a meat, like they want to take
Yeah,
something from you, fix
yeah,
you,
yeah,
by,
fix
like
it.
they have a fixed idea of what they're gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what's going on here. They have like I'm gonna do something to you like this. Yeah.
It's, I mean, here in Thailand, here in Phangan, it's kind of interesting, I think, to try out different. It's very cheap to go and get a massage here, but also there's a different kind of massage that is not what we are talking about. But sometimes you can actually find someone that is more still and more silent and more slow, and then suddenly it's like so much nicer. There's like a huge difference. Yes.
So a while back, some friend were telling me that there was a series that came out on Netflix about Osho that I have to watch. And I actually postponed it for a long time. I waited weeks. There was something like I felt like, first of all, a TV series from America, I already knew that something would not be like correctly portrayed, you know, about Osho. And I think I watched maybe half of the first episode, and I was like, I cannot watch this anymore. It didn't feel like the experience that I have, you know. And what was your experience? Did you watch that series, or
I did, yeah.
the whole thing? Or-
Yeah.
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 Any comment about that? Because you've actually
100%,
experienced it, so.
100%. Imagine a beautiful painting of Phangan. Amazing painting of Phangan. Amazing painting of Michelangelo. And there is a mosquito. And you come with your camera and you zoom the mosquito until the mosquito becomes bigger than the painting. That's what Netflix did. Of course, we are human, we are growing, but the beauty, the experiment that has been done in the ranch, it was with no words. And the humanity, they should bow to the feet of Osho always and forever, because he did a major work for humanity. Not to enter into this mosquito repellent story. Yeah, that's what I see. They zoom the sensation instead to see the beauty, the meditation, the work, the laboratory of human consciousness that has been done there. They create 2 lakes, houses, roads. I was working 12 hours a day when I was at the ranch. And in the evening I had energy to go to dance. And if I have a date, I can have a date. You understand? Full of energy, still 12 hours a day. But for me it was not a work. It was just pure joy. You see, if you work for joy, there's no work happening there. If you work, yeah, because you need to run the day, make your money, whatever, family. But if you work out of joy, there everybody was sharing joy. And the creation was amazing. So from meditation of Pune 1 to the creativity, full creation, was beautiful. And then, of course, a crash. The new man crashed with the old man there. Something happened. And of course, yeah, we know the story. But the beauty, if we are sitting here right now, if this community is happening here and many communities in the world, because the laboratory was there.
Yeah.
Now it's happening everywhere. People does the meditation, they do this, they do this, they do that. But there we start to create this. So I want to speak up for Osho because he did amazing work. And not because he's my master. I say he's my master because, yeah, I come out of him. I studied with him from when I was a teenager, almost 22, 23. I still listen to him, and every time I listen to him, a new opening happened in me. Osho gave so much that we have no clue. It needs 500 years of your life to really study and learn all what he gave to us. But because it's so oceanic, so big, that we get lost. Osho gave a lot. He talks about all the religion. He gave the nectar to all the religion, all the centers. He took everything, he explained everything. He took us for a ride that is infinitum. How they dare to say anything about Osho? Yes, of course, he's still a human being.
Exactly.
Because 99% you can be God, until you are in the body, there is 1% of human being.
Yeah.
Humanity, a human. You still need to go to the toilet, you still need to pee, and maybe you won't even make love. I don't know if he did love or not, it's not my business. I hope yes. It's not my business, this.
No.
But yeah, you still are in the body, you are all pervaded by God, still you are human, you are in the physical body.
I think this is something that's many people misunderstand. They find a master, they find a guru, and they want him to be perfect. They put him up or her up on a pedestal. And from my perspective, yes, they can have strong transmission, they can have extremely good teachings, but they're also human to some extent. and that humanness have their different flavors, and some people can like it, some people cannot like it, and so on and so on.
Can I make an example?
Yeah.
So let's imagine that the sky is a consciousness, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a window. The window. Through this window, the consciousness comes in. You can see the consciousness. You can see the sky. The window is the master. So what we do? They say like a point to the moon. Don't look at the finger, look at the moon. The window is beautiful. Fresh breath comes in, the light comes in, the blue sky comes in. It really gives you the glimpse, the window of the blue sky. Yeah? Infinitum sky. Still the window is a window. So what we do? We take the flower, we worship the window, and we forget the consciousness. Masters, they're windows. Different flavors. I just happened that I fall in love with Osho. Actually, before Osho, I met one time Krishnamurti in Switzerland. I was already get acquainted with Osho. I had already close, but I was waiting for the Mala initiation still from Oregon when he was there. So I went to listen to Krishnamurti. And I love Krishnamurti. No master, no disciples, you don't need. But still you need it. You know, you need to go through the passage. Yeah.
I really like the analogy of the window and
Yeah.
consciousness being the sky. Do you think that this realization for you, because I've heard you said before that you're no longer kind of identified with, like, I am a Osho sannyasin, that you think, I've heard you said that you kind of dropped that identification.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you're more identified with kind of being absorbed into the sky instead of the kind of following the window, so to say.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because you see, now I can see through many windows, but I recognize always the consciousness. But you see, it's very painful, the passage, to not get identified with, like for me, like as a sannyasin, you know, an Osho sannyasin, because even you go to a master to get all your condition out. The dangerous is that you start to get also certain type of conditions, you see. Any teaching, it gives a shadow of conditions there. So you need to be always so aware. And then at a certain point, I felt like that, yes, I'm grateful to Osho, but I'm not Osho sannyasin. I love Osho. I just I bow forever at his feet for what I got. But I'm naked. I'm alone. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm naked. There is I'm not Osho sannyasin. I'm not Krishnamurti. I'm just myself.
Yeah.
Spontaneous, moment to moment. The moment that this identification stopped, the cult, the cult dropped. At a certain point, I saw myself that I could not conceive my life outside of the sannyas scenery. The girlfriend need to be sannyasin, friends sannyasin. This is the circuit, very cozy circuit, very wider circuit, beautiful.
And the people outside this they're not really intelligent,
Exactly,
they
not
don't understand even.
So that's when you start to create a cult.
Yeah.
When this identification dropped, I start to see that there is intelligentsia, there is a love everywhere. And all of us, we are sannyasin, without a label. Sannyasa means searching for thyself. And from the moment we are born, we are looking for it. That you know or you don't know. It's just fact. It's just life itself that does that. And that moment when the sannyas identification dropped, it was wide physically and energetically. I felt so
More space, huh?
Space and more available for everybody.
And did you have this period or time of almost separation anxiety before that, or how was it for you?
Yeah,
because I went through the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, I think it was a little bit different for me because I was in a tantra school.
Yeah.
And I realized that some things there was not really healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm forever grateful for all the things I learned. I'm really grateful for the teacher. I'm grateful for all the friends and everything there. But I also could see it now. It is time to take a step back, you know. And once you step back, you see everything in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting transition to see from outside, you know.
Yeah.
Was for me at least.
Yeah. It's exactly like this. And nobody creates a cult. We create a cult with our identification.
Yeah.
Identification, to be sannyasi or tantra or teacher, anything that you get identified and you get stuck with certain identification,
You create a separation.
You create a separation, and the flow of life doesn't flow anymore.
Yeah.
And then you start to suffer. In the name of liberation, you start to suffer. Yeah. Deep down you suffer because you can cheat other people. Maybe even if you don't want to cheat, I'm saying, yeah? Just because cheat is not the right word. Deceive is the right word. You can deceive other people, but you cannot deceive yourself. Deep down, there is always something that record and watch this. And then there is a danger that you can hypnotize yourself. So, in spirituality, it's a very, very narrow road. You need to be always on the spot and constantly honesty to your own self.
I'm very interested to see, how do you see on spirituality? I mean, you've been on this journey for a long time. For me, I've been some years as well, and I see a difference in quality. I don't want to say this is good, this is bad. Everyone has their own journey. But do you think that things have gotten a little bit diluted, if you know what I mean? Like that. I mean, Osho was a true master, right? And now you have so many different things going on. So for me, it's sometimes difficult to navigate.
The New Age smorgasbord.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very simple.
Yeah?
Peter, yeah. It's very simple. You need to know if you're going because you want to become or you want to dissolve yourself. By dissolving, you are gaining your own self, true self. To become, you can become a good therapist, or you can become this, you can become that, but you are into becoming. If you go for dissolving, then it's a completely different thing. Becoming is horizontal, dissolving is vertical. Look at the word in Latino, spirituality, spirit. When you take a bottle of vodka, you take the tap out and you leave the vodka open, start to evaporate the alcohol, the spirit. By you evaporating, you are gaining something. So the work is negative, but not negative in a negative way, negative in a positive way. You need to dissolve yourself. You can become amazing, great teacher of yoga or music. You can keep on creativity, beautiful, but you, identification, need to dissolve. That's all the work you do.
Yeah.
Then you know that you are not fooling yourself. So in one hand, you teach, you share techniques, you did. In other hands, dissolving. If you come to the atmosphere of Alchemy of Touch, I call atmosphere. Or the astral body, I call the atmosphere. Yeah? The atmosphere, Alchemy of Touch. You come there, there is no space for ego. You come there to dissolve the ego finally. And the nervous system relax. People start to feel good. They start to feel accepted. They feel love. There is not the teacher there, but the teaching happens. Do you understand where I want to bring people in a new vision?
Yes.
Teaching without the teacher, When Osho left his body, I remember very clear, he said to me, I am your friend, Maitreya. I have to act like a master, but actually I want to be your friend. Now, 30 years after, the humanity is ready to have a teaching without the teacher. Reflect back your light, because we are made of light. If we continue like this, in the next generation, the kids, they're going to be delight. They don't even know why they are delighted, they're going to navigate in life in this beautiful energy. And we are creating this.
So what I hear you saying is that if I find a teaching that reinforces or to make my ego stronger, my spiritual ego, whatever you want to call it, then I'm on the wrong path. But if I find more relaxation and more the flow and can relax out of my ego mind, then I'm on the right path.
Yes and not. No, it's a very interesting piece. And I talk about experience from watching my own life. Now, so there is some people who comes in minus in the family, poor, ignorant, they care this minus around them. They need to pump it up with the plus first, then they can disappear. You cannot go to the minus, you understand?
Yes.
Some people, they come in the plus, rich family, and they got everything in life, but they become arrogant. And they go in the minus.
So it's about balance.
It's about balance, but first you need to, and the ego sometimes, it needs to be reset first. But you need to have a guide that remember to you that is not enough this yet. You need to dissolve it then. First you reset, and then you dissolve. It's like a egg. You know the egg, the chicken egg? If you break from outside, the egg die. But if the egg get broken from inside, life comes out. So it's the same. And in Pune there was like this training group, like anti-Fisher Hoffman. I don't know if you ever heard. Anti-Fisher Hoffman.
It's a powerful process.
It was Fisher Hoffman and Osho invent anti-Fisher Hoffman. Because this was one to build up the ego, and Osho was like dissolving the ego. So it balanced a little bit. I'm really aware that if you are a minus and you need a recognition, I'm going to give you recognition. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to give you love enough that you get reset there. And then the invitation is like, now dissolving, slowly, slowly. And it's such a beautiful process. You walk like a ghost, but you feel so free. Yeah. Sometimes I'm in the metro in Milano when I'm alone. I try to find myself, I don't find it, and it feels so good.
Wow.
It feels so good, guys. I cannot really
Can you tell us a little bit, before we wrap it up, the upcoming events also of Alchemy of Touch?
Well, we're going to have now in 6 days, level 1. Then in March, the 2nd of March, level 1 again.
Here in Phangan, Thailand.
In Phangan, in Thailand, yeah. And then in June, we're going to have it in Umbria, beautiful place, and level 2.
Where is that? Umbria?
In Umbria is South Italy. It's like San Francisco land, where San Francisco born. It's beautiful, like amazing hills and so on. There is level 2 that we really refine the work there. Then I can show you how I work with psoas, working with visual manipulation, and so on. Because in the first level 1, it's like give a lot of technique. Already you can work. But of course, if you want to work deep. Yeah. Anyway, I'm really grateful that you came here and that you allow me to share what I'm living, what is inside of me.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the dates of the first one that's coming up right now?
The 17th of January
17th of January.
2020.
Let's see, hope we can post this. before that.
Yeah.
We will also post in the comments section all the information about
Yeah.
your
Links
other
below.
trainings
Yeah.
as well. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So there is there is a transformation happen there, but very subtle. It's a really subtle surgery where your misunderstanding fading away, you don't even recognize. I call misunderstanding because life is nothing that is wrong, only misunderstandings they are there. You understand?
Yeah.
This is just misunderstanding. And we have to thank to the misunderstanding if we become aware. You understand? Like a fish in the water. This is Osho speaking. There is a fish on the water. He's in the ocean. He swim. But you take the fish out of the ocean. You keep in the sand for 1 or 2 days. And then you drop in the ocean. He will recognize that he was in paradise. He was in the ocean. Otherwise, he will not recognize. So for me, the misunderstanding that the lives give to us, or trauma, or whatever, they help us to wake up. Yeah. So there is 2 types of people who comes into spirituality world. The one that they suffer, and the one that they want to become. Especially the rich people. They want to become something. This is not satisfied yet. They want to become. But the secret is, or you are rich, or you are poor, dissolving. And then you gain everything.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
brother.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing.
And thank you everyone for watching. Check the links below, and yeah, check the next videos coming up. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.